guys, Adam from Ecowise here. Here I am in my garden. This is actually in my garden. Here's my house. Here was not mine, I rented, but here I am. Now, today I'm going to talk a little bit about reusing and recycling. Because in our modern way of life, especially those of us, if we live in Europe or in America or in Australia or many of the places in the so-called developed world, we use so much materials, we use so much water, we use so much electricity and power, and we use so many material things, whether it's glass or whether it's plastic or whether it's things we buy in IKEA, but things, and they have a very short lifetime, whether it's electronic equipment, whether it's cars. They're designed obsolescence. They're like designed not to last very long, which is kind of deliberate because it means you keep having to buy things, which is what keeps the system working. The gross national product in the economy is based on buying and consuming and consuming. And in my silly little garden here, I've tried using things that I find around that are rubbish, like these here. These were all throwing away, but I found them in the recycling glass on the edge of the road around where I live. These are old demijohns that people around here used to especially transport wine in. These things would have been carried on the back of horses and carts once, with containers made of willow, and inside that hay, so they're protected, and they'd stack them up and they would take them perhaps from here, perhaps to the nearest town or city, perhaps even Torino or Milano, to sell the wine. But people throw them away because they're not useful anymore. They're often, many of these are old and they're handmade. So I've been collecting over the years, and I got this funny collection here. This here, this is a kind of bird table I use. Now's not a good time of year to feed wild birds because they're nesting now. And perhaps if you give them some grain or things, perhaps they take it back to their baby birds and it can upset the stomachs of the baby birds. But in the winter, especially in a cold winter, you can really help the wild birds around you by feeding them. It's a great way of seeing them. My house is there and I see them, so you can see them close and you can kind of help take care of them when it's a rough winter. So this is made from old junk pieces of wood. You can see it looks kind of a bit junk. This is actually old chair legs from a chair that was broken and was going to be thrown away. So stuff that's going to be thrown away. Look at this over here. Oh, look at this here. This is kind of cool. Look. This is a fan, an electric fan that was broken. So, you know, it lasted about 2 years. It cost me about 25 euro, and it broke, just broke. And I couldn't fix it. I wish I could fix it. We should be perhaps learning how to fix things. But at least I managed to take it to pieces and use the parts. This has become a windmill. You can see. So it comes, catches the wind and goes round and round, and it's kind of cool. Here, look at this. This is a table. It's a bit weird looking, I know, but it's actually made from 2 broken tables that were being thrown away. This one was a metal one. This top piece is metal, and its legs are all broken and rotten and rusty and had corroded away. And then this bottom piece that's filled with stones now was a plastic table that was broken afoot. And I kind of thought, well, I need a table. Rather than buying a table, why don't I see if I can use all this junk that's around me and reuse it and make a table? So I made this table and it kind of works. It's a bit weird looking, but it's unique. What else? Look at this here. This is an old plant pot, ceramic plant pot that I found in a market in Torino at the end of the market, and it was being thrown away because it's got a crack in it. You can see there's a crack there. But I've used it and I've collected some plants around and about that I found in rivers in the mountain where they've been washed down and probably aren't going to survive. So I've made a little kind of rock garden with pieces of driftwood. What else? I mean, look, there's more bits. This is all old, strange pieces of junk. These are all from a barrel, a falling to pieces barrel. You could have used it to burn, but I kind of like the way they look. I mean, it's just like all junk. This is the top from one of those containers that they keep the demijohns in with the wine. It's made from woven material, probably willow or maybe even hemp. And there's my fish that I have inside the house during the winter when it's cold. And I put them out here because they're goldfish like this, pesci rossi, have incredibly good sight, better than ours. So they think from looking at their cells, their cone cells in particular, in their retina, in their eyes. So when they're inside, they're probably a bit bored. Out here, they can see all around us. I don't know what they think. I put them back inside in the winter. And these fish, I got them in a shop. Now, they were looking really unhappy in an aquarium full of lots of other fish, and they just did not look happy. You can see they were overcrowded and stressed. So I bought them very cheap, and I'm taking care of them. So what's the point? The point is, see if you can use materials around where you are now, especially if you're on lockdown. Things that are junk are going to be thrown away. See if you can use them to create something new. So reuse, because recycling needs energy. Like if you're going to recycle, if you throw plastic into the plastic recycle, glass in the recycle, or aluminium cans, or paper, it's not that it's free process, that it's recycled and then it just comes up as a new product. It takes a lot of energy to do that. They need to melt it down, and they need to reform it, they need to collect it, they need to transport it. And energy means we're using fossil fuels. So it's better to reuse than recycle. Anyway, see if you guys can find something to reuse that's rubbish and junk, and make something strange and unique and make it your own. Bye bye.